classic truck rescue, getting kind of excited. As you can see, I've got my first truss, not up, it's an end truss. But what I did is, it was getting late last night, and Jamie gave me a hand when she got home, and we carried it over here with the crane. Learned a few things about carrying that with the crane. They're a lot heavier than they look, and because they're so long, you got to be really careful when you're carrying them around on uneven ground. Anyway, so we just set it on those blocks that are all at the same grade along the bottom, and then I put a few screws to hold it balanced straight up and down to the posts, so I didn't have to worry about it falling over or getting damaged or anything. But I need to move it over just a hair that way, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Anyways, I'm really excited about this today. I'm hoping to get a couple more trusses put on the next post. Like I said, there's no videos out there that show you A to Z how to build a building, and that's what I'm trying to do here. So I know I'm not doing everything perfect. I've never built one of these before. My dad is coming out here and helping me. He's going over my blueprints, telling me what to cut, telling me what it's for and where it goes. But he's 80 years old and can't make it out here just every day. It's a 40-mile drive from him. He's got eye surgery today. Keep Lou in your prayers. He's a good man. But what I've learned is I'm going to have to fill in when he can't be here. I got to keep moving forward. So I've made a couple of executive decisions, and like I said, I haven't built one of these buildings before, so if I'm doing something wrong, feel free to go ahead and point it out, but don't beat me up for it, because I don't know how to build a building. You can beat me up on the next building if I ever build another one. But what I'm trying to do is show the average Joe hasn't got the money to hire a crew, or doesn't have a crew to show up, how he can put a building up. Fortunately, I've been blessed to be loaned a couple of pieces of equipment that needed just a little bit of work. I've got them all cleaned up, and I'll show you the trucks, the crane truck and the bucket truck. Still having an issue with the bucket truck, but everything's working on the crane truck. Both of the trucks are running and driving perfectly. So instead of waiting until I could get the bucket truck fixed, I figured I'd use the other truck to start moving my trusses and start making some progress towards getting a roof on and getting my materials under the roof. And yes, I screwed up. I should have had my stuff in a dry spot and all that, but it's not ruined. It just needs to dry out, so it's do or die, and I got to get this done. Anyway, I'll show you the trucks later, but boy, they really cleaned up a lot. They look really good. And Anna, where you think you're going? Come on, Annabella, come on, where you think you're going? Get over here, stay by Dad. Anyway, I'll show you the trucks later, because we're going to be using them a lot. Come on, honey. Come on, get over here. But what I'm going to do now, because we were kind of in a hurry last night, and we just set these on these blocks right here, so I could get some screws in there and get them secured, and get the truss secured where it wouldn't be flopping around and falling over. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put blocks above it, but leave a little space, and then a board in front of it in a few spots where I can slide this truss down to exactly where it needs to be, where the peak is centered on that center post, and then I'll resecure it, and then we'll wait for Lou to get out here and show me what I got to do to this thing before I hoist it in the air. But there's no reason I can't take another set of these blocks that are holding this up and put them on each side of that next post. I'll be back when I'm ready to move this down and show you how easy it is for one guy. So here are the blocks I told you I was going to install before. These were already on there. That's what the truss is sitting on. But I'm putting one of these on each side on the top, and I'm leaving room in between them for the truss to move around. But I just put 2 screws on it because this is temporary. But I left 1 screw loose intentionally on the top and bottom. That's so that the board that I put connecting those blocks together and sandwiching the truss in isn't right up against the truss. I want a little wiggle room right there, but I want it to slide that way. So I'll put those other boards on there and come back, and then I'll show you how we move it. Okay, so I've got my I don't know if there's a name for these, because I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do this. Pretty sure it's not. But what I did is I screwed these long boards, sandwiching in the truss. I'm sure this is going to be fine to support it, because it's supported all the way across on the bottom by those blocks. And that's where all the weight's sitting in. I feel like this is going to work right here for keeping it on the base blocks and still able to slide. What I did is I left a little gap on the bottom, and I didn't screw the top all the way down. Like I said, there's not a lot of force with this thing trying to fall this way. The thing you want to do is keep the weight spread across the bottom evenly and supported on the bottom. But now I'm going to show you, I'm going to remove these old batter boards and clean that corner up, and then I'm going to come over here with Grumpy, my 1-ton dually, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to slide that over. I went ahead and took a little time to clean up around all the posts in the building site and get my other posts out of the bushes and stack them and everything, just kind of getting stuff out of the way to make it easier to work here. But I believe I'm ready to back Grumpy down here and slide that thing over where it belongs. The jack seemed a little hooky, so I came up with another way to slide the truss over. Hi honey, how you doing? You're just in time to watch this truss slide over to the center of that post. That's what we wanted to see right there, how the peak is right in the middle of that post. And it was actually super easy. I just hooked a come along onto the back of old Grumpy over there on his trailer hitch, and ran that chain right there to the come along. Made sure I put it in a strong spot, and I hardly had to put any pressure on that come along at all, and the whole thing just slid over on those blocks that you see going along the bottom until I was centered. So that worked out pretty good. One man can move a truss. Speaking of moving trusses, I'm going to go ahead and fire up the crane truck over there and grab me a couple more of those trusses right there, and I'm going to go ahead and put them on blocks on the next set of posts over there. Got to get this building up. I'll be back. Yeah, I told you I'd give you a better shot of these trucks once I got them cleaned up. They really cleaned up a lot. And this one right here, everything is working good on it. Everything. And this one right here, everything is working good on it, except the boom is having trouble going up and down, and it has something to do with the pump that drives that ram right there. Goes left and right good, it goes in and out good. I think I can still utilize it for some things. I'll try to get that fixed. There's a bunch of pressure valve adjustments and stuff like that. Most of that boom is electrically operated, and the front of this truck has a PTO driven generator on it, so that's for generating all the electricity that it uses for most of its accessories. But that ram right there is hydraulically operated. I made sure it's full of good hydraulic fluid and everything, but some kind of pressure adjustment or something like that. The one problem with this truck right here, like I said, it runs and drives perfect. All the controls, you kind of have to Mickey Mouse a little bit with some of the controls, and some of them are broken. One of these operates the winch, that winch, in and out, and the rope's all frayed on that. It's just old and was green and rotten at the end, and actually broke on me. And I don't really need the rope because the lift on the end of the boom meets my needs. But so this one's for the winch in and out, that right there. But it's also for the auger. So one of these is for the winch and one of them is for the auger. And what I did, it was trying to operate both at the same time. And I'm sure there's some kind of switch or something that maybe locks one out or whatever. But what I did is I just took the cotter pin out of that pin, and I put this pin over here if I want to use the winch, and I put the pin over here if I want to use the auger. So, but other than that, everything works pretty good on this one. Those rams right there, if you're standing right here operating the controls and you've got the boom swung around where it's over here above you when you're operating the controls, those two rams right there really leak on you a lot. Not like a steady drip, you know, and you do have to add fluid to it, but small price to pay for all the work that it's capable of doing. And like I said, it doesn't leak a massive amount, it just leaks, and you got to be mindful to keep it topped off and stuff like that. Good truck, so glad to have them out here. And they did clean up a lot. If you look back at the video when my buddy Lance and I went over to Terry's place and got these, we had to take a lot of pushes off them before we could hit the road, and they did have a lot of mold on them, but good looking trucks and good running trucks. Thank you, Terry, and thanks, Lance, for helping me get them over here. But so the one truss that I do have over there is the end truss, and the end trusses are a little bit different. They have the webbing that goes like that, the webbing that goes diagonal, you know, but they also have webbing that goes across. You can see it on this one right here. The webbing that goes across is in addition to the webbing that goes like that, where if you can see the ones just under it, they don't have the ones that go across. Anyway, so this is specific for the end of the building. I'm going to take it over here and put it on the end of the building. I've already got my blocks at the bases of all those posts. You can't see them because they're on the other side. Yeah, you can. But I've got block on all 5 of those posts. We'll get one of these over there and get it affixed to those posts. And then I'll start trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with the center ones, because with these end ones, I've got 5 posts to hold it up, and I've actually got that one screwed to the posts just so it's not going to tip over. But on the middle ones, you only have a post on either end, and I don't know about that yet. I'm thinking that's a long distance to span, and I know there's a lot of braces that you build in between 2 of them and sandwich it and all that, but I haven't been there yet. But we'll go there. I'll be back. Well, as you can see, I've got my other end truss in position and secured. Now we can build all the stuff that goes on the back of it, which I don't know what that is right now, but it's centered pretty good. And this took me all day. Well, not all day, half a day, but this was probably the hardest truss that I'll install out here because the cherry tree caused me a little grief. Yeah, and I lost another limb off of it. I've been trying to save as much of this cherry tree as I can. I really like it. Certain times of year it looks really nice. But then also it'll help me with wind protection for my building. I've got trees on 3 sides, and I think that'll be helpful. Really appreciate that old crane truck. I had a hard time getting in here. The rest of them will be easier because if you saw the way that I was coming in with it on the side of the truck, I can do that with all these ones that go on the center posts. I can just have it on the side of the truck, bring it in straight in through one of the bays, and put it where it needs to go. So this was the hardest to get into place. It's not installed yet, but it's on its way. Anyways, Classic Truck Rescue, good day on the pole barn building project. For those of you that are following along, I intend to show every single phase of how to build this building. And like I said, I'm not a pro. I'm not even an amateur, but I'm going to learn how to do this, and if you tag along for this series, you'll learn how to do it too. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Annabelle. Come on.